Hello ladies and gentlemen, Tevaron here and welcome back to some more Eternal gameplay. Today we're going back to our roots, which is Constructed. We're going to be testing out a newfound control deck by Dark Judge. Just pulled this list off of Eternal Warcry, has quite a few upvotes, looks pretty interesting, and I've always been a pretty big fan of Feln. So let's look and see what this list is trying to do. See, we've got 3 Permafrost, which is a great removal spell against anything that is not Endurance. Can also be used to pop Aegises if you need to. 2 Annihilate, kill a unit with a single faction, pretty good. 2 cost removal. 4 Strategize, ubiquitous card draw 2 cards, then put a card from your hand on the bottom of your deck. Vara's Favor lets us deal some damage, potentially removing X1s while also making sure we hit our power drops. 3 Devastating Setback, a very versatile card. 3 cost. We can make the enemy player discard a spell or attachment from their hand, or give each unit -2/-2 this turn. 3 Extract, which is more removal plus a little bit of card selection, giving us a scout. 4 Hellstorm, which is a new card from the recent adventure. Strict upgrade on Lightning Storm, I believe. It costs 1 more, but also does 1 more damage to each unit. Not surprised at all to see decks that previously ran Lightning Storm going with this instead. 4 Wisdom of the Elders, which is pretty standard. If you're running Feln control, you're probably running 4 Wisdom of the Elders. 1 Feeding Time helps us remove pesky recurrers, or things that do things when they die, and so on and so forth, because we turn it into a pig before we kill it. 4 In Cold Blood, another new card from the recent adventure. 4 cost removal spell, kill an enemy unit. If it was Justice, the enemy player discards each copy from their hand and deck. They can't leave the void. You lose all Justice influence, which that last part is not really a problem for us. We're not in Justice anyway. But this allows us to deal with very pesky cards such as Inquisitor Mokto forever. Another card that helps us to do things similar to that is Rain of Frogs, except Rain of Frogs can hit other things too. Choose a non-power card from the enemy player's hand, transform each copy in their hand, deck, and void into 1/1 frogs with Destiny. Not quite a cranial extraction, but pretty frickin' close. 4 Champion of Cunning, one of the best finishers in Feln. If you have all your factions that you need, this thing finishes the game very quickly. It is worth noting that we generally want to try to play this after we have the primal factions to give it Aegis, but there are situations when you need to play it out just to stay alive, I would imagine. It's been the case in the past for me. 4 Black Sky Harbinger, great against any aggro deck or mid-range deck, and perfectly fine in every other matchup too. 1 Celestial Omen, 6 cost, fast spell that lets us draw a card of our choice from our deck. 1 Azendel's Gift. Celestial Omen makes it to where we're essentially running 2 Azendel's Gift, or 1 more of any other card in the deck. 7 cost Curse. At the end of the Curse player's turn, they discard their hand. Very powerful against other controlling decks. And at the very top of the curve, 2 Channel the Tempest. 8 cost, draw 3 cards, then deal damage equal to the number of cards in your hand. This can target a unit or a player. And the power base is 4 Primal Sigil, 4 Cobalt Waystone, the Aegis is very, very useful. 5 Shadow Sigil, 2 Crest of Fury, this is an off-color crest, in there simply to add more power to the deck and scry. 4 Crest of Cunning, 4 Feln Banner, 4 Seed of Cunning, and 4 Crest of Chaos, again off-color for the extra power and the scry. This looks like a very interesting list. I'm going to have to craft 1 Rain of Frogs, I think. Yeah, 1. We'll go ahead and do that. And then we'll jump into some games. Alright, I think this hand is perfectly fine. We've got early removal as long as it's not an Endurance unit. We've got card draw, one of our best removal spells, and a finisher. Let's keep it. Honestly, it wouldn't have been bad if we just didn't have a finisher in this hand. We'll lead off with Feln Banner. Then we can Seed of Cunning, undepleted next turn, and strategize if we want to, or, you know, depending on what we draw, we might want to do other things, like Permafrost that. Yep, I think we're actually going to change over and play our banner, then Permafrost this guy. We want to prevent the Warcry, as well as the damage, but the Warcry is the more pressing concern. Champion of Fury, sure. Not happy to see it, but it's not a huge deal. So we can, in cold blood, that thing next turn. I think what we're going to do is strategize. Feeding time, another in cold blood. Well, I very much doubt they're running Justice, so we're going to put one cold blood back. Then we will Crest of Cunning. And we want another Shadow Sigil. We really want more Primal, to be honest. And we're going to hit the next two land drops. We're going to put that on the bottom. Planning to kill this next turn with either the In Cold Blood or the Feeding Time. Alright, so we're taking a lot of damage quick here. We would like to draw a Hellstorm. Then we could just hold these for spot removal. We did not get a Hellstorm. Still, I think it is absolutely necessary for us to kill one of these. Neither of them's fast, so it doesn't really matter. Let's go ahead and do In Cold Blood. Going to 10 for sure this next turn. We really need something to help us stabilize shortly, or we're going to lose this game. Okay, just 4 from that. Could get burned to the face, though. Pyro Knight. Hellstorm would still be awesome. Rain of Frogs is interesting. I don't think we've got time to deploy that, though. C4. I think our better play is to kill this one. We could Vara's Favor this, but that would not leave us enough power to play Feeding Time. So this represents more damage at present, and they won't have enough power to ultimate this next turn, so that seems like the correct play to me. So we have our Shadow faction for the Champion of Cunning. We really want the Primal faction, though. Getting this permafrosted would be awful for us. Hopefully they're running out of stuff. Well, there's a Hellstorm a little late. Okay, we're going to go ahead and try to kill this. They could have an answer. They don't, which is awesome. That allows us to Rain of Frogs. See what they're working with. Would love to pull an Obliterate here. Torch coming. Alright, opponent having trouble deciding. Yeah, we're getting torched. So this will put us to 2. These are all the cards they have in hand. As crazy as it sounds, I think Permafrost is the bigger problem right now because we don't yet have Aegis faction for our champion. Oh, it was a mortar, not a torch. Gotcha. There are frogs and a drone. We have an answer to that, though. There's our primal. Don't have enough to play both out, but we can answer this. They still only need 2 damage to lethal us with what they've got in hand, though, so it's very precarious at the moment. That helps a ton. So if they can't muster something fairly quickly, we should finish this game fairly quickly ourselves. That can be a problem. So if they have a buff for this, then they can eat this. Of course, if they have a buff for this, rampage or whatever, then we're just dead if we don't block. I think we go ahead and pop this. That will pad our life total slightly.
Touch of shadow.
And then unfortunately we have to hold back and block. Or I guess we didn't because the Aegis prevented the life gain. It didn't actually get to deal damage, but we still got our Shadow Sigil there. Yep, there is the buff, so good thing that we held this back or we would be dead here. Yeah, we absolutely have to block, unfortunately. Removal? I mean, that counts, I suppose. We're still on the rain-slick precipice of death. Black Sky Harbinger is the card I think I would most like to draw at this point. Of course, they seem to be bricking pretty hard. don't think Skycrag generally runs any silence effects, so no need to play this out preemptively. Because if they're able to silence this, we're going to die. Guess they could run Caleb's intervention to kill a single faction attachment. Yeah, we have to do this. So now any other burn spell that they draw will kill us. They can pop our Aegis and then deal the last damage. Got another torch or a rock slide. I mean, anything really. Haste creature, mortar, that'll do it. Good game. Alright, I don't think we can keep this. I mean, we do have card draw, but we have no early interaction, and we don't have any shadow faction. So let's pitch it back. That's a bit better. So we can for sure cast these. We need one more power for everything else. Card draw is awesome too. We'll lead off with our seat. Looks like we're up against Praxis, potentially a third faction in there. Crest of Cunning. Yep, that's our play. We have no 2-drop to play this turn. Do we want another crest? Let's bottom that. We've got the power to play everything in hand at present. We do want to hit more power drops as we go on because our curve does go up further. Alright, that thing. Dawnwalker is definitely a problem. They are only one time off of having this thing recur. Let's see, go with that. I think we're going to hold up Wisdom of the Elders here. Just go ahead and take 4 on the chin. Alright, let's do that. If we can kill this and then Rain of Frogs and catch another one in their hand, that would be helpful. Don't think we're going to be able to do that. They can probably recur this, but I think they just missed a power drop there. Let's do that. Don't really need to play anything else, so we'll play our crest out. Yeah, we'll bottom that crest too. Time. Yep. Okay, let's, I assume if they had another Dawnwalker, they would have played it, but maybe we can get whatever they're planning to play and recur the one that's in the void. They still need one more power to play this out, so let's grab all their Sandstorm Titans, make them frogs. Seems quite good to me. Oh, hello, Froggy. Not nearly as threatening as a Titan. Well, they top-decked a power, so that is a little unfortunate. Luckily, we can wipe the board. We could also just play this and wipe everything but the Shatterglass Mage. I think that's probably less good. Yeah, I think we're going to Devastating Setback them first. And we're going to get the Xenon Initiation because it's the best way for them to deal with a Champion of Cunning that has its Aegis triggered. And then we'll just wipe their side. Next turn we've got this. We could potentially cast Rain of Frogs, but I think it's getting a little late for that. Another Dawnwalker is unfortunate. Channel the Tempest, though. We're starting to get into our late game here. Definitely go with Black Sky Harbinger. They can kill it, but it will cost them both the cards in their hand. Which is perfectly fine with me, I think. Reinarch, so they're not killing it, but they are recurring some stuff. Okay, so we could Rain of Frogs plus Extract, or Cold Blood plus Extract. I think if we Rain of Frogs, it stops them from killing this. Let's do that. Let's grab the Purify. Give them another frog. Then we're going to annihilate the Reinarch and swing for 4. The The life gain allows us to do a pretty good job of racing here. Hello, Froggy. Extracts help too. Let's attack here. Then I think we're going to cold blood this. And extract this. Devastating setback. We're going to bottom that. And end the turn. Alright, crest for them. They put it on the bottom, so they're digging for something. That wasn't something they liked, which is good for us. Let's start with a strategize. We need an 8th power. And it needs to be primal, which it is. I think we're going to throw this back because it's a less good removal spell at this point than Cold Blood. We'll gain ourselves an Aegis and attack. Next turn we can start channeling the Tempest. Don't really care about this frog at all. We'll save in Cold Blood for something a lot more threatening like that. Unfortunately, we're going to lose our Harbinger. And these Dawnwalkers may spell our death. So we can't kill the Carnosaur with the Channel the Tempest. We could do 5 to their face. We could channel one of these Dawnwalkers. We could just strategize plus Cold Blood. They're hitting for 14, which is going to take us to 19. I think we've got time next turn to use more removal, so we're going to channel their face here. Permafrost. Unfortunately, this power is depleted, so we can't Permafrost this turn. Yep. Or we're taking 15, actually. I forgot to factor in the frog, so we're at 18 instead of 19. Champion of Cunning's quite good here. I think we are going to Permafrost this guy. Permafrost is a more or less permanent solution to these, but I don't think we're going to need to do that. Play out our Champion of Cunning, which is lethal next turn if they can't remove it. And then we're going to go ahead and play Strategize as well. Probably should have played it first, honestly. That is a lot of in Cold Bloods. Let's throw one to the bottom. So they need to draw a Carnosaur here. It's really their only way to get rid of this efficiently. Alrighty. Good game, opponent. This is a little slow, but I think it's fine. We've got our factions for the most part. Well, we need a second shadow for that, but we have card draw. We're going to chance this. If we're up against Uber Aggro, we may just be out of luck with this hand. Feln Banner. I think we need to keep that just to hit our second shadow for certain. Second shadow for certain is kind of pseudo-alliteration, I just realized. Alright, so we're going to need a sweeper. Don't know if this is aggro or grinded in, but it looks like aggro with the primal there. Yep, Snowcrest Jetty. Hellstorm is good. Don't know if it's worth it to play it to remove these two. It will pop this Aegis. I think we're going to do this and then Wisdom of the Elders. Would like to get at least one more unit with the Hellstorm when we cast it. Alright, so we're going to get one more unit. Unfortunately, we're going to take some more damage too. Let's draw some cards. Azendel's Gift is horrible in this matchup. Hence the reason the deck's only running one, I would imagine. Alright, so we have to Hellstorm here. We're going to die very quickly. Then we'll play out Primal. We do want to hit our 5 Primal as early as possible in case we draw a Champion of Cunning. Don't really need beyond 2 Shadow unless we're planning on playing the Gift here. Let's do that. I think we're going to Permafrost this. And then Rain of Frogs. And they have no valid cards. So their hand is all power. That seems good for us. Why are they not playing out their powers? We know that that's what's in their hand. Well, no matter. Honorable fight, friends. Sorry for your bad draw there, but that's how it goes sometimes. Yeah, we can't keep a 1-power hand. Really do wish Eternal's algorithm to guarantee you between 2 and 4 power in your hand also applied to your opening hand. Let's go with the crest because it's always going to be depleted no matter what. A second crest. Well, that guarantees that we'll hit 3 power. Yeah, we're going to keep that. We will be able to Permafrost next turn if we need to. That will get us to 3 to start playing our 3 drops. Vara's Favor will get us to 4. Let's play this too. Looks like we may be up against a mirror. And if it is, we want to hit all our power drops, so we'll keep that. The control-on-control match in card games, generally you want to get as many resources as possible. Let's go ahead and Vara's Favor, though I would like, in a perfect situation, to hold on to it to pop an Aegis if possible. I like being able to play our powers in the future undepleted. Okay, Devastating Setback. They're almost certainly taking Rain of Frogs. Yeah, that is what I would do. Let's take this turn off of playing Seats to get ourselves an Aegis. And then we're going to Devastating Setback the enemy. And we are going to take Wisdom of the Elders. Need to keep in mind they do have a Dark Return in hand. Alright, so this is a more mid-rangey build of Feln. So maybe not quite as important for us to hit all our power drops. Well, we'll start off with a Strategize. Celestial Omen. This is probably not very good. I don't think that this particular build of Feln runs many, if any, single faction creatures, so we'll put that on the bottom. And we'll play this out, and I think it is worth it to Permafrost this thing. Next turn, we can Celestial Omen, and the turn after Azendel's Gift, which seems pretty good. Unfortunately, they have an Aegis. So, well, we drew the gift. Actually, that works out because we're going to extract their face to pop that Aegis. Let's do that. Hopefully they don't have another one. Yes, indeed, we do want that. They are 2 power off of ultimating this guy. Well, they did have another Aegis. That is not great for us. They don't have their 5th Shadow yet either. So the question is, do we drop our Champion of Cunning? Or do we hold up and go Celestial Omen for something to pop the Aegis either on him or on them? I think we're probably better off just playing Champion of Cunning so that we can at least hold this thing at bay. Right, they have a Dark Return in hand, so trading here is very much in their favor. So, no blocks. Unfortunately, they hit their 5th Shadow too, so their stuff's going to get monstrously huge. Harbinger, sure. So our Aegis here is popped. And on ourselves, too. Probably take the gift. Yep. Feels like we have lost this game. I don't know that there is an actual sequence of plays that gets us out of this. Yeah, I think we're just going to pass here. They have their own Azendel's gift. Yep. So we are on the bad side of this. We are not going to block. Have to remember they have a Dark Return. Let's Celestial Omen. I don't have any clue what we're supposed to get here. Guess we could Rain of Frogs or Devastating Setback to take their Dark Return. Could just get card draw. Honestly, we're pretty much dead here. Let's take a Devastating Setback. Just because it's more power efficient. Don't have enough to cast that. So, even if we Devastating Setback and take that, we're dead next turn. We can block here, and we're still going to take 14. So, good game, opponent. Things did not quite go our way that time. Alright, we will keep this. It's a pretty good hand. It's got early interaction / removal, card draw. Permafrost is even earlier interaction. Let's go with our crest, of course. Another crest. Do we want another crest? Yeah, I guess we do. Ooh, paladins, okay. Alright, so giving a paladin in the hand bond. And it has to be more than 2 cost or they could have bonded it out right there. So what we're going to do is play this crest. Shadow Sigil. We're going to hit a second shadow. Or I think we're going to bottom that. And then we're going to permafrost this so they can't use it to bond. Alright, good. Okay, Crown Watch Paladin. All their paladins are going to be bigger than normal. Fortunately, we can't Rain of Frogs here. We are 1 off of doing that. What we are going to do, though, is pop this Aegis. Hopefully whatever they bonded on is not a 4-drop. I imagine they'll want to attack with this instead of bond next turn. Let's play the Feln Banner, since we have no other plays at 1 cost this turn. Alright, so that's what they triggered the Honor of the Faithful onto. Lifesteal Bond. Okay. Well, they don't have another lifesteal unit out that matters at present. They could have silence effects to let this thing attack, but then the lifesteal wouldn't be applying to it anymore. So, I would like to play Rain of Frogs. What do you normally cost? 5? But I think what we're going to do is... No, actually, we're just going to play Rain of Frogs. We can deal with this next turn. Yeah, we'll take the other one that's in their hand. Seems good to me. So now, all of their Oathbreakers are Froggies. Yeah, taking 9. We can Feeding Time on this next turn. That is unfortunate. It's going to be rough for us to deal with all of this with what we've got. This is definitely the most threatening thing at present. Let's Crest of Cunning, see what's on top. We're going to bottom that. And then we're going to Feeding Time this one. Still taking at minimum 7. A Hellstorm would be a decent draw. That way we could play Devastating Setback plus Hellstorm to wipe the board. Or any low-cost removal spell. That's not what that is. Think we probably have to Devastating Setback here. But we're going to start with a Wisdom of the Elders. Okay, we drew another one. Well, we have to do this turn. Just to dampen the incoming damage. Still going to be taking 4 minimum. Yep. Going to 1. Getting real low. That's not exactly what we needed. Doesn't matter what's on top. We're dead. Good game, opponent. Okay. Let's throw that back. This hand's very mediocre. Admittedly, this is a very small sample size. We've not played a ton of games with this deck, but so far it feels like it's spinning its wheels pretty hard a lot of the time. Not really getting to where it needs to be. We have no idea what our opponent's playing. I think we have to bottom that. Look for more interaction. Alright, so we could be up against Paladins again. That was another deck on Eternal Warcry that had a lot of upvotes. Let's go Crest of Chaos. Extract seems decent. Let's leave that on top. Alright, so it's Valkyries, okay. Well, they don't have enough to activate that, so we shall take this opportunity to stop them from activating it in the future. That... I mean, we do need a finisher at some point. Just not sure if we're to that point yet. Yeah, sure. Let's leave it on top. Don't want to scribe 2 of our champions to the bottom. Alright, another Icaria. We could in Cold Blood that, but I think these Valkyrie decks have other targets we'd much rather hit within Cold Blood. See, how much is your ultimate? 3. So yeah, if we're going to stop you from ultimating, we need to do this turn. Okay, fair enough. Yep, there's the ultimate. Gives +1/+1 to each Valkyrie in hand, and plays out a Justice Sigil, which gets them closer to her getting +3/+2. I think at this point I would love to strategize, but I think we have to Rain of Frogs. They got a lot of scary stuff in hand here. So, probably going to play this next turn. We've got in Cold Blood for Mokto unless they have another intervention. I think we're going to take the Spire God because it's the most pressing thing at the moment. Hopefully they play Mokto here and we can in Cold Blood it. That will put us in okay stead. Note they're starting out with her, going to ultimate her. Alrighty, so they're 1 justice off of these things getting bigger. Let's start with a strategize. Probably going to put the Channel the Tempest on the bottom at this point. Actually, Azendel's gift is less good than channel. So let's put that on the bottom instead. Play out a Seed of Cunning. Alright, just slowly chipping away at our life here. There's Mokto. Hopefully they didn't draw an intervention. See, we have to do that. Let's try to get rid of Moktos forever. Got it. Sweet. That helps a ton. Now we need to draw a sweeper before these things get big. Right, Copper Hall Porter, sure. Another Rain of Frogs. Let's draw some cards. Devastating Setback works. So let's try to do that. Good. Feel like we're starting to pull ahead in this game. Got themselves a Justice Sigil there from the Porter dying. Didn't play anything. Rain of Frogs is probably a good spell to play, but I think we want to risk the Wisdom. Hopefully we'll draw an undepleted power. We did. Awesome. That works out. Let's grab Slay, since there's two of them there. Hopefully they'll play both their frogs, and then I can eat them with Black Sky Harbinger. That would give me a lot of pleasure. Froggy number 1. Froggy number 2. Watch out, Froggy. Dragon loves you. Okay. Sorry about that. I don't know what's wrong with me today. Alright, yeah, we knew the Vanquish was there. Ooh, that is a problem. Luckily, we do have a Permafrost. Let's do this. We want Tavares favor 2 so that we can for sure channel the Tempest next turn. And then Permafrost this so they don't get a bunch of Valkyries. Which I think we may have to play out Champion of Cunning here at some point. I don't think we know what this card in their hand is. Let's channel this thing. Okay, Waystone is good for a variety of reasons. It gives us an Aegis, also makes our Champion of Cunning's Aegis. And now they are fully turned on, so let's try to finish this game. Alright, another one of those. Cold Blood, sure. And that should be the game. Yep, it is. Well, deck felt a whole lot better in that game. Well, we'll go ahead and do one more. Nope. Not going to keep a 2 shadow power hand. That is better. Sadly, we are on the draw. Right, opponent showing time, which could be okay for us. Showing time means they're probably a little slower. We're going to keep that on top. We need a second shadow at some point. Ah, Xenon. Gotcha. Well, let's do this and strategize. Okay, we'll put our channel on the bottom since we're a long way from playing that. Auric Interrogator. Almost certainly they have Dark Returns in their deck. Whether they have one in hand or not, though, is an entirely different thing. Let's go with Strategize. Probably should have held that sigil for a second. Azendel's Gift's actually okay in this matchup, I would imagine. Let's put a regular sigil on the bottom and then permafrost this thing. Alrighty, well, we're going to go with this and hold up Wisdom of the Elders. Alright, Iron. Sure. Okay, Vara's Favor. Fine, fine. Just really scared to kill this, which I guess there's no reason to be. If they have Dark Return, we can't play around it unless we draw a Rain of Frogs, which we didn't. So we can get an Aegis now. Yeah, I think we want to do that. Then we're going to... actually going to hold this Favor, because if they have Dark Return to return this, we can Favor plus Hellstorm to kill it again. And the reason that they would Dark Return this, the Auric Interrogator over Iron, is that it would give it +1/+1, so they would get the extra draw at the end of every turn. Alright, that is not a returned Iron. That is something we don't really have an answer for at present. So, Black Sky Harbinger is probably just the best thing that we can be doing here. Need to draw a hard removal to get rid of this World Bearer Behemoth. Hopefully before that they can play a Mystic Ascendant and draw about 17 cards. At least we're holding Iron back. Alright, popped our Aegis. So if we don't draw a way to remove this, we're going to have to play... well, never mind. It's gone. Be very surprised if they don't take the Azendel's Gift. They took the Hellstorm. Okay. Well, I guess they don't know that we have a third Shadow. They are down to 1 card, so maybe it's not that big a deal. Actually, going to do that and that. Then we'll go ahead and Vara's Favor here. And I think we can afford to attack now. The Aegis preventing them from taking this Azendel's Gift from us. Yeah. So we're doing 1 to them. There's the Dark Return. Yep, Auric Interrogator. And it's what I figured you'd get back. Dawnwalker comes too, so double benefit there. Vara's Favor. Can't really afford to play that, because we have to play the gift now. And also can't afford to attack, so we'll pass. Yep, popping our Aegis and sabotaging away our Vara's Favor. No blocks. Need another creature or a removal here. Yep. Interesting the way that interaction works. They draw the card and then the gift makes them discard it. Wisdom of the Elders. We'll take a Wisdom. That's a couple more looks. Yep, ultimate. Sure. No blocks. Need something desperately off of this Wisdom. Bye-bye, Behemoth. Please give us something good. Celestial Omen. Thing is, we have to do something now or we're going to die. So we can extract and kill you, but you potentially can come back. We can extract and kill you. We can block here. Trading will gain us 4 to 10, and then we'll take 10. This gains us life. 11. I think our best bet is to kill Iron, because it doesn't auto-recur like this does. Devastating setback, we do not want that. We'll play this power out and pass. So we'll go up to 13 here if we block here and go down to 1, and then we can still keep our Harbinger, but they're not swinging with that, so we don't have that option. I think it's better to trade than to chump, so we'll do that. And once again, we are in desperate shape. Hellstorm's not quite what we want. Let's Celestial Omen and grab... I think I would rather Permafrost than Annihilate. We could just Feeding Time. Let's go with the Permafrost for now. We can do that. And then Hellstorm and hope they don't draw something that has 5 power. But they did. So back into horrible shape. That at least keeps us alive for a turn. In Cold Blood, not nearly as good against non-justice units. Still serviceable removal. Once again, we're in need of removal or die, and we die. An honorable fight, opponent. Alright, first impressions. Again, these testing videos are always a very small sample size just by their very nature. Not completely sure about this deck. When it works, it feels great, as was evidenced by our 2 wins. We felt like we were ahead the whole time and just couldn't have the game stolen from us, and yet other times we're behind the whole game, which honestly is often the case with control, but it feels like we had trouble actually wresting control back from the opponent. Not real sure about Rain of Frogs. I know it's necessary against some decks to deal with things you can't otherwise deal with. I don't know that 3 is the number that you would want to be running. Rain of Frogs, when we weren't able to hit something relevant, just felt awful. It felt like we just wasted 4 power and did nothing. Maybe as a 2 of. Or maybe it just shouldn't be in a deck that's on the ladder and more suitable as a sideboard card for an actual tournament deck. Cold Blood felt awesome against Justice decks and felt fine versus everything else. Hellstorm definitely better than Lightning Storm. Very happy with this upgrade to that removal slot. Otherwise, I'm not too sure. It feels like the deck could maybe use some Feln Bloodcasters to sort of shore up the early game. The 2/5 body on those things is really good at blocking against aggro decks, and as you saw, we did have some trouble against Skycrag aggro. So I think if I were to keep testing this deck, that the changes that I would make off the bat would be to cut some number of Rain of Frogs. Probably Celestial Omen. I think the one of Azendel's Gift is just fine on its own without the Celestial Omen. And maybe even 1 Devastating Setback. And 1 of something else, I'm not sure, just right offhand, to put in for Feln Bloodcasters, which would probably greatly shore up our matchup against aggro. It was the early onslaught of stuff that seemed to give us the most trouble. Overall, though, I like the feel of the deck when it's doing what it's supposed to be doing and we're not just spinning our wheels and dying. If any of you have any suggestions as to what you would do to change this deck, or maybe the deck's actually perfect as it is and we just had some bad variants there and had either really bad matchups or just really bad luck with draws and whatnot. But for now, thank you so much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, let me know by leaving a like below, and of course subscribe if you'd like to see more in the future. I have been Tevaron, and until next time, friends, be excellent to each other.